For guests and visitors, my name is Jim Farmer, President. I'd like to welcome you to the 13th meeting of the 50th year of the Dublin-Worthington Rotary Club. The invocation and pledge of allegiance will be offered by the one and only Win Wixel.
One and only, huh? That's good. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we gather today as Rotarians to begin the celebration of Advent in anticipation of this Christmas. We give thanks for the blessings this season brings. It is a time now to reset our Merry Christmas thinkings and remembrances to honor the small December child. As Rotarian shepherds tending our families and communities, help us to hear the message in its original form. Help us this day to pass the Advent message forward. Help us during the loud, joyful celebrations to quietly become an agent of Rotary service and peace. Help us this day to share our blessings with others in need. Help us this season to remember the small December child's story, including the message, we bring tidings of joy. Bless this food to our use and service as Rotarians. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to do things a little bit out of order today. As some of you may have noticed, we have some very special guests in the room. And I'd like to bring up to the podium our immediate past District Governor, David Yule, who will introduce these people. And also, they will be making an announcement that's going to be very interesting to us. David, I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, thank you for that applaud. I appreciate that there. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Thanks, Terry. That was nice. Good afternoon. It is a joy to be with the good people of the Dublin-Worthington Club. Once again, we are glad to be here today. And we do indeed have a special announcement. Some of you have seen us over there and I've heard the murmuring. We're going to take care of the reason that we're here in just a moment. As the immediate past district governor, I have a couple of roles in the district. Thankfully, this is the very last thing that the immediate past district governor gets to do. I am the chair of the nominating committee for the district. And so before we get to the big announcement, I've been introduced. I want to introduce and bring up a couple other people that are really, really important. First of all, let's hear it for your current district governor, Gary Baker. Yes, stand, it's the whole thing. Thank you. All right, District Governor-elect Sandy Knazel from the Columbus Club. District Governor nominee Terry Razzak from the Marietta Club. And of course, your very own past District Governor Peggy Murgatroyd. Peggy, would you please come on? All right, you all can be seated. Thank you very much. So I don't know if you know much about the district governor line or how things work in Rotary, but there is a position missing. We have an opportunity as a district to nominate the district governor nominee designate, which is the district governor who serves in the 2027-2028 Rotary year. That's how long it takes to get ready to serve 56 clubs and nearly 3,000 Rotarians in what turns out to be a quarter geographically of the great state of Ohio. And District 6690, one of 5 districts in the great state of Ohio, is the greatest district in all of Ohio. And we are excited. Yes, hey, here. We're excited to be here today to make this announcement. Now, in case you don't know how it works, the nominating committee that selects the district governor nominee designated consists of 5 people. The immediate past district governor who chairs it, the sitting district governor, and then a past district governor from our district. Peggy Murgatroyd served in that particular position this year. And then we have an assistant governor and a past president. Those 5 people from across our district make up the nominating committee. And over the last several weeks, we have received applications for district governor for 27-28. We have reviewed those and we have interviewed those people and made a selection. I'm pleased to tell you today that you are among the first. Outside of district leadership, you are the first to hear this announcement. An announcement will go out district-wide to all 3,000 Rotarians at 1:30 today, making this announcement as well. Now, in District 6690, we have a history and a legacy of unbelievable district governors. Our past district governors are fabulous, fantastic people. Again, among them, Peggy Murgatroyd. But your club has never had a district governor come from your club. Peggy was in a different club when she served as district governor. So while she's a past district governor and in your club, she wasn't from your club when she served. Don't you think it's about time, friends, that you had a district governor from this club?
Yes.
Well, maybe they don't think so. Don't you think it's? Well, we agree and think it is time as well. We're about to take care of that little problem, my friends. The district governor nominee designate that we have selected has been a Rotarian for 25 years. They have served in various club leadership positions, both past and present. They have served our district for 6 years, 2 terms as an assistant governor. They are currently one of our district grant coordinators. They have served not only their club and our district in Rotary International, but they served our country in the United States military. And we are so glad today to announce to you, it is a high honor and great privilege to let you know that the next district governor of the great District 6690 is your very own Darnell Perkins. Not until after. Not until after. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. Well, how did I get here? You know, I thought about this probably for the last 15 years, and I kept saying I'm not ready. So finally, I said, oh, well, might as well throw in my hat. And so I did. And so when I found out, I said, oh my God, what did I do? But like many other times when I step forward, and I know we have all experienced this, you know, that's probably our first response. But then with a little bit of planning and a whole lot of help from friends, you know, it works out. And that's what I'm asking for, a whole lot of help from all my friends. So thank you so very much.
Congratulations. So Darnell's right. You now, as a club that will have a district governor come from it, there are expectations. You'll be responsible for helping Darnell put on district assemblies and a district conference during his year, and to support him in every way that you can. Would you one more time congratulate with me the next district governor, Darnell?
Thank you so much. I'm reminded of a quote that Woody Hayes had about his 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, Archie Griffin. He said that Archie's a better man than he is a football player, and he's the best football player I've ever seen. So with Darnell, I think we could make a similar statement. He's a better man than he is a Rotarian, and he's the best Rotarian we've ever seen. With the obvious exception of Jerry, John, you know, and a bunch of other guys in the club, but congratulations. Okay, well, now I'll turn this over to our sergeant, who has hopefully some funny things to say to us.
Well, or at least something funny to look at.
And we will do announcements after this, since I forgot to do announcements.
Thank you, Jim. Hello, everybody. So great to be here today in front of you all. Let's start with happy dollars. Is anybody in this room besides Darnell happy? Or is the jury out, Darnell? Dick?
Well, neighbor, congratulations. That's Darnell. He and I have been neighbors, were neighbors for umpteen years, but moved to Friendship Village. First happy dollar, Thanksgiving morning, I participated in the Wilmington Turkey Trot. As an 86-year-old, I did my 5 kilometers in just a shade over an hour. That compares to the jocks who were running 16 minutes. Not me. Number 2, as you know, it's been poinsettia week. We did sell quite a few poinsettias, and I want to let you know that one of my right faithful customers said she couldn't order any plants this year, but she did give us $100 donation for the poinsettia. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you. Roger. Thank you. No. Mike, sorry.
Well, after 4 weeks in a full day cast, this Monday I graduated to a knee brace that actually helped support my knee. I had an 80% tear in my patella tendon. So I'm happy to be back and moving around and be able to get places. And we're glad to see you.
Yes, sir.
My grandson won the turkey trot.
Well, good for him. Must be a real turkey. Is Jerry?
Great big pie for it.
Where's your dollar?
Oh, it's coming.
So it's Christmas, I hear.
I'm putting in $1, just one, for Darnell, not for the reason you think. We delivered Christmas gifts on Sunday morning, Friday, Saturday morning. I know what day it is. Saturday morning. But you have to think about all the work that he does to set that up. He gave me a slip of paper to go deliver 5 gifts, and they were all in the right order for me to go to, so that I didn't, go the wrong way or something like that. So that's $1. Now I'm putting in another $1 for Darnell, because he's already promised that during his year, he will not raise the dues. And I'm putting in another $1 for the airplane pilot that's gonna take me to Alexandria on Christmas Eve.
Fantastic.
I want to put some money in for Darnell and the district governor line, because I found the immediate district governor's wallet on the table. When I looked in there, all I could find was a picture. I don't have the heart to do that, so.
I'll do it for you.
There you go. Thank you.
I'll put the 20 in for Darnell. See, how about, you didn't look hard enough.
Yeah. Dave.
Well, I've got $5 here. So glad to know that Eva and I will be leaving for Veracruz, Mexico tomorrow. We're
Yes,
going to be
we are.
there for several months,
Yeah.
as we are every winter. We're going to have George and Wynn joining us again for a time, as well as Dave and Debbie Kittredge. And we're looking forward to advancing our relationships there with Twin Gloves in Veracruz. One of the things that we're going to do, I think, Dave, you have some eyeglasses which you are to give me, which is part of their eyeglass campaign. We'll also be celebrating the Temazcal, the sweat lodge that we supported there at the Paul Harris Center. And I'm so glad that Darnell was able to do that before come down and help us initiate that Temazcal, because as president now, he's not going to have time to do it. Last, I'd like to throw $1 in congratulating Darnell.
Thank you. Okay, let's keep in mind, this is a 30-second happiness.
Second happy.
That was $5.
Because he walked in after the fact and we didn't get to introduce him, but I see my friend sitting right over there. Past District Governor Price Finley has walked in the building, folks. Give him a round.
I'm late to the
Yes.
meeting, right? All right. Congratulations, Darnell.
Yes, sir. Oh,
I have $1 for our first lady, Carmen.
Putting that money on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Judy and I have happy dollars. Guess it's happy dollars, be back in the cold 12 days in our residence here and visiting my family and such, but we're glad to be back, headed to work on Friday for 10 days and then back to Sarasota. Very happy.
I'd be happy to be here instead of work at this time of year too. Anybody else happy? Jim?
I also have several happy dollars. First, the three top salesmen for poinsettia. Dick, again, Darnell, and Teresa. So those three. I then have two for just really feeling very positive about the club today. And another dollar is actually more a hope dollar, which is that Ohio State wins on Saturday.
Anybody else have a happy dollar? All right, Ken?
I'm happy that from the district governor table came a couple of $20 bills. What are you guys doing in 2 weeks?
Because the sergeant's good, what can I say? Listen, there's gotta be some sort of a fine for somebody that assumed that they should be sergeant because the sergeant wasn't actually on the list, which is of no fault of anybody that I know of. And anyway, you deal with that fine later. That said, if you're not wearing your fantastic name tag or your Rotary pen, please raise your hand, throw a dollar in for there. I have to go fast here. Anybody travel somewhere for Thanksgiving? Who did that? $1 from each of you. Anybody going anywhere for Christmas? I know the Barnharts are, so that's $1 from you guys. Anybody else? Who here, anybody know we have a holiday party coming up? It's awesome because it's after the holiday, right? It's after Christmas, so it's easier. So who has made their reservation? Who has RSVP that they are coming or not coming? If your hand's not up, please throw a buck in. Anybody have a birthday in December? You guys are lucky and exempt. Everybody else can throw in $1 for their present. Yeah, I love it. Okay, here's what day it is today. Has anybody baked any cookies this month? Anybody? Nobody? Today is Bake Cookies Day. So if you haven't baked cookies in this month, read at $1. And then, I don't know which we're gonna appreciate here, but it's actually Flake Appreciation Day. Now, some of us know snowflakes, some of us know other flakes. You should know that. It's also Crime Junkie Day. Who here looks at those crazy crime shows on TV, right? Real crime, fake crime, something. If your hand's up, come on, put it up. I know some of you people do that. Throw $1 in for that. Has anybody here, today is National Wear a Plunger on Your Head Day. Who here, for the test, who here has ever worn a plunger on your head?
I don't believe it.
Okay. Everybody else, put in $1 if you've never worn a plunger on your head. Okay, anybody seen the movie Elf? Anybody seen it? Put your hand up, nice and high if you've seen it. If you haven't, you get to put $1 in because today is Answer the Phone Like Buddy the Elf Day. And that's it for that. Okay, now I'm gonna try to do this here for Jerry. I'm not Jerry. Okay. This is about Buckeye basketball. I think that's a team around here somewhere. Name the former Ohio State men's basketball player who 50 years ago entered his second season as a Buckeye. He became a two-time All-American, the first in OSU history, and he's been credited as the first player in program history to utilize the jump shot. Ken, you don't count.
I know the answer.
Of course you do. That's why you don't count. Nobody?
Well, 50 years ago. you said.
It's longer ago.
Who said it? I heard it.
Yeah, Dave King.
No, Jake.
Jake?
Oh. Robin Freeman.
Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Wow. Jake saved you all kinds of money. All right, next. Last question.
50 years ago. Yes.
I don't even remember. Okay, according to the 21-22 Ohio State Women's Basketball Media Guide, who is the only player in program history to wear jersey number 53? She played in Columbus for 4 seasons, finishing up 25 years ago. I know she knows the answer, maybe.
I think you stumped
Nobody even knows? All right, Mindy Fusetti. Everybody throwing $1. Thank you, everyone.
All right, if you have any announcements, please make your way forward right now. We want to get this done quickly.
Thanks, everybody, for helping with the foundation this year. We can still use help. We've got money to give.
I just have one.
Sure.
I just wanted to report that our adoptive family program or project this year, we ended up donating our club alone to 3 area schools. We collected 99 gifts and 11 stockings full of chips and candy and cookies and toothbrushes and toothpaste and whatever else we thought they needed. So thanks again, everybody, for your support.
Darnell has an announcement.
And I'll just do a quick one from my seat here. I want to thank all of those that helped this weekend deliver gifts to 38 households with 72 children. And the total value of the gifts were over $9,000.
Fantastic. Okay.
NGSE. We are now with a go for Mongolia. They will send a team of, I think, 5 or 6 people over here. Somewhere around June 20th, so about July 3rd, 4th. So we're going to be forming committee activities, looking for chaperones, people who would like to have a Mongolian for dinner or for an evening. So see me and say, hey, I'd like to sign up and walk the international walk with these Mongolians. Let me know, because we're starting that now.
Fantastic. Also, real quickly, as you know, Super Bowling for Charity is coming up February 1st, and I'm happy to announce we have 2 teams and 3 lane sponsors signed up already, but we're looking to get 30 of each. So if you haven't participated in that yet, think about that all during Christmas vacation. So, so at this point, I will turn this over to Joe Passion, who will introduce our speaker today.
Thank you, Jim. First of all, after I tell you a little bit more about our speaker, I know that you will say, how come she didn't know the answer to the last trivia question? Kristen Watt is my friend, I'm pleased to say, and that's most important perhaps to know. She is the former captain of the women's basketball program at OSU. She played from 81 to 85 under the Hall of Fame coach Tara Vandermeer. She was team captain during the Buckeyes' first Elite 8 appearance, and she contributed to 4 Big Ten championships and 3 NCAA tournament appearances. She went on to a law degree at OSU and a distinguished career in environmental law, and her professional achievements are amazing and wonderful and not worthy of note here today, because that's not what we're going to hear about today. We're going to hear about her other job. She's been the color commentator for the women's team since 1987 and is getting on a plane to Stanford soon after this event today. So you can hear her thereafter. But right now you're going to hear from her about the Ohio State women's basketball program. And I'll let you get a little bit more specific about that, Kristen. Thank you.
It's okay. Can I just stand here?
Sure.
All right, great. So before today, has anyone ever heard of Kristen Watt?
I have.
There you go. Yeah. Right, yes. So if a few of you in here, how many of you have been following women's basketball at Ohio State? How many of you started watching women's basketball within the last year or two because of Caitlin Clark? Yeah, Yeah, so is there anyone in the room that does not know who Caitlin Clark is? She just won Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, not female athlete of the year, but athlete of the year. And she came from Iowa, and everybody always asks me, what do you think about Caitlin Clark? And I'm just gonna get this out now. I respect her game. I'm learning to respect her. It's a brutal assessment. But she's got away with things a long time. And she's not getting away with it in the WNBA. And it's kind of fun to watch and how she has matured very quickly with that. She has changed the game. She has changed women's athletics. You cannot poo-poo her for doing that. I'm not always favorable of how she's gotten there. She is kind of, in my opinion, a flop artist. You walk by her and because of who she was, you know, everybody who watches the NBA, everybody knows LeBron James carries the ball almost every time he's with the basketball. No one else can do it. And Caitlin lived with that privilege for a long time. And now it's evening out a little bit and she's kind of finally figuring out, I can't get away with this now. And I think that's been really good for the game and really good for her. And people ask me today what I think, and I'm like, I'm getting to like her because she's done a lot of great things, but she has changed the game and you have to love her for that. So I came to Ohio State in 1981. I played for Tara, not Tara, Tara Vanderveer, a very, very common mistake. So Tara Vanderveer, and who's a Hall of Fame coach. She just retired last year from Stanford. And I'm happy to say I was in her only class at Ohio State. She was here for 5 years. She recruited us her first year here in 1980. There were 4 of us. And she coached here for 4 more years. And at the end of my 4th year, Andy Geiger, if people remember that name, Andy Geiger, was then the athletic director at Stanford. He said, wow, that's a great coach. And he got her to go to Stanford. And I asked Tara one time, when I was interviewing her for a halftime at a game, and I said, you know, Tara, why did you leave? And at the time, remember what year this was? It was 1985. Women's athletics weren't a big thing. And her answer was very simple. No one asked me to stay. And that broke my heart. And she's been at Stanford ever since and had a Hall of Fame career, but she's been wonderful. So I played here 81 through 85. I graduated winter of 86. I don't know if many of you can remember who your commencement speaker was, but I know exactly who mine was. Woody Hayes. It gives me goosebumps to even just say that. And then that fall, I went to law school at Ohio State. So I call myself a double buck, Ohio State undergrad law school. And as a first year in law school, no, as a second year in law school, so 86 to 87, fall of 87, Nancy Darsh was the coach at Ohio State. And I was still, because I was still at school, I went to all the women's games still. And I sat underneath the basket and I yelled at the refs because now I could. And I, you know, talked to the players and cheered them on and all those things that you do as a fan that you want to do. And someone came to Nancy Darsh and said, hey, we're thinking about doing some radio broadcasts. I think the first year was like 3 or 5 games. And do you know anyone who might like to do this? And she said, talk to Kristen. So Herb Houndstein worked for AM 820 at the time. He's now retired from radio, but he gave me a call and said, hey, would you be interested? And I said, yeah, you know, let me come over and talk to you about what you're going to want. What does this mean to do radio? And so he and I, excuse the French, shot the shit for about an hour and a half in his office. And at the end of that, I had to go back for classes and I said, yeah, I'd be interested in doing this, you know, throw my hat in the ring. And he said, you got the gift of gab, the job's yours. And that's how it started. As simple as that. I had no idea what I was doing. Some might argue I still have no idea what I'm doing. But it was really fun. The games were just at home at the time. We didn't travel. Those first couple of years, and then we started traveling. And by the time I was out of law school, now I have a real job. And work has been very good about letting me travel. And we would travel with the team and I would do half the games. So I would do, like, I do tomorrow's game. The last two games I didn't do. I did the game before that. So I split it up with someone else because I do have a real job. And work has been very good about letting me do that. And I've been doing it since 1987. So that's what, 37 years. So if you add 37 years to plus the time to go back to 81 when I played, I've been with the program for 43 years. Now, technically my boss is, what's it called now? But it's WBNS radio, basically. We used to be on AM 820, then we moved over to AM 1460, and then when the Ohio State women's team got to be so good recently, we started jumping over every now and then on 97.1. So I will tell you about my first 97.1 broadcast. So we are at Indiana. This was 2 years ago, I believe. And at Indiana, they set you right up at midcourt, but you're up maybe 3 rows, surrounded by fans. And this is when Indiana was really good, and Ohio State was really good, and we were playing at Indiana for a Big Ten championship. And the women's team was not playing well that day. And as you know, a crowd for a big game like that, they had the place basically sold out. And whenever there was a bad call, the crowd would be yelling, bullshit, bullshit, when they didn't like the call. So I've been sitting there watching the Ohio State women's team getting beat pretty soundly in this game, hearing this the whole time. Anyone listening to the radio has been hearing it. And now it's to the point in the game where my broadcast partner and I, Matt Andrews, are just now, it's like 2 old people sitting on a porch or on a sofa watching a game on TV. We're just talking. There's not much to talk about now about the game. We're kind of chatting a little bit. And he and I were in the middle of a story and the refs made a call against an Ohio State player. And I just said, well, that was a bullshit call. And then I kept talking. And then I realized what I did. Baloney. That was a baloney call. I meant to say baloney. So the very next day, I got a call from Skip Mostick. If you listen to 97.1, you know who Skip is. And Skip basically said, yeah, you know, you can't say that on air. I was like, I know, it just came out. It was totally innocent. I think I get another 35 years to make another mistake like that. Because it was a couple of years ago. And he said, I agree. So that was one of my major faux pas on the air. I also said farting around on the air once. I was quoting Coach Darsh, and on AM 820, they didn't like that one either. Which at the day, I was like, it's just farting around. I didn't say anything bad, did I? Is that bad? So kind of, when I'm on air, I'm exactly like I am now. This is me. I don't have an on-air, I have to have an on-air filter, but I'm generally a little bit unfiltered. And if the team's not playing well, I'll say it. And if they're playing great, I'll say it, but that's just me. One of the best things about being on the radio is, now sometimes you sit up high, but you're usually right down on the floor. It is the best seat in the house. You hear everything. You hear what the players are saying, you hear what the coaches are saying, which is not under their breath. It's kind of fun because the refs will sometimes come up and admit that they missed something. You don't see that anywhere else, but you do get to see that there. And you see a lot of talent. I've seen a ton of talent over the years at Ohio State. Sometimes people ask, who's your all OSU women's basketball dream team? Who do you think you get to put on that dream team? If it was your choice, who do you get to put on? And Katie Smith is one, absolutely. And like most, when they say who's your dream team, they always pick like one or two more. And I'm gonna bow out and say I picked 6 instead of 5. We're gonna pretend we were at Iowa and playing half-court ball with 6. So my dream team is a Vet Angel. A Vet Angel played when I did, all Big Ten player. And to me, what defines a good player is no matter whether they're on the first team or the second team, that's the team that wins in practice. Because she knows exactly where I want the ball, where you want the ball, when she's gonna pass it to me and I'm not gonna catch it. You know, I can't do that for Kristen, and she made everyone on the court better. So a Vet Angel's on that team. Katie Smith is, of course, excellent player. And she's back with the program. If anyone has followed that, she is now back with the program. Tracy Hall, another All-American back in the day. She came in, her freshman year was with Tara Vanderveer, and then Tara left. And she still excelled. And she came from Chagrin Falls, if I remember correctly, out of Cleveland, and had never been on a winning team in her entire career. Came to Ohio State, became an All-American and first team All-Conference, and she was just a great player. Nikita Lowry, Nikki the Cat, we called her. Nikita Lowry was one of those players like a cat that could get in the air and then like turn around and do whatever she needed to do before she got back down on the ground. And she could do that with her body when she would go up for a basket. It's like, how did she possibly contort herself to get that ball in? And I thought she was a great player. Lisa Klein, maybe people remember her brother Mike Klein, back in the day, played for Ohio State. Lisa Klein, if I had to pick one person who could score at will, was Lisa Klein. And she had the 3-point ball long before there was a 3-point line. She was that player, deep from the corner. And then you gotta have a big gal, and this is where I came up with my 6, Jantel Lavender, who graduated maybe a decade ago now. Very talented player to hit the ball inside and outside. So today, as mentioned, we are traveling to Stanford. Actually, we're not traveling to Stanford, we're traveling to play Stanford. We're gonna play at the Golden State, where the Golden State Warriors are. So we're gonna be in San Francisco, playing Stanford there. We fly out tonight. 5 o'clock is the flight, so I need to be on the road at 4. But we charter. It's like really not travel. You get to the airport, we pull off. I pull in early. I get to Lane Aviation. You hit a button and you say, I'm here for the OSU flight. They raise the gate. You pull in, you park about right there and you walk in that door. Depending on the security level, a few people have to go through security and you have to sit and they wand you and everything like that. They look in your bags. You get on the flight. That's it. You're allowed to bring water on the flights. No one says you can't bring water on the flights. You can't, there's nothing like that. When we get off the plane, they pull a bus up right down underneath the stairs. We don't go to the terminal. We get on the bus. If it weren't gonna be that we're gonna be getting there at night, we would sometimes go right to the arena and they would do their shoot around and play a game the next day. But tonight we're gonna get on the bus, go right to the hotel. In the morning, they'll have a shoot around. They will be in a room just like this. with a buffet just like that for every meal of the day. And they come in and then they'll also have study table in here and things like that, but they're all on break. And then we'll go to the arena. After the arena, we get on the bus. I know from our itinerary, they're gonna give us all a pizza. And then we're gonna get back on the plane and fly home. So that's a Friday night game. I land at 5 o'clock Saturday morning. I'm gonna get about a 3-hour nap. And then I gotta load my car for tailgate. Cause I'm going to the game Saturday. So it's kind of fun because the team, at this point, when I was younger, it was easier to talk to the players. Some players are more verbose than others. Right now, I'm basically the age of their grandparents. And so I'm a little intimidating for some of them, but the team is a great group of gals. They're absolutely fabulous group of gals. And you would be happy to have any of them in their family. They all treat school seriously, they all treat the game seriously, they all get along well, and they all act professionally. So I think that's great. So if you follow the team, and I'm hoping this is gonna be okay, because I'm assuming that you're following the team. I'm gonna go through everyone on the team and give you a 1 or 2 words explanation as to what I think of each of them. So Jelani Cambridge is a 5-star freshman. She was the #2 recruit in the country. #1 guard. They came here from Nashville. She's like 5'6", and my word for her is not fast. She is fast. She blows everyone off the court. There could be 2 defenders 15 yards in front of her. She'll blow by them and get behind them for a layup. She can be 2 players on a fast break on offense, and she can be 15 yards behind them and catch them by the time they get to the basket. It's freakish. She's out with a shoulder injury right now, but she is beyond talented. Cody McMahon, I think if anyone knows, watches the game, Cody McMahon is an All-American at Ohio State. My word for her is beast. She is a beast. She's put on some weight. I don't think she needs to put on any more weight. She's put on some weight. She's fast, she's quick, she is strong, and she is not afraid to, I pity the fool that gets in front of her. Because she will run you over. She's a beast. Chance Gray is new. For me, word for her is 3. She loves the 3-point shot. She can shoot the ball very well. I think she had the other day 5 3-pointers against Grand Valley State. Asia Petty, another new player. A lot of NIL stuff going on here, and transfer portal. My words for her are hesitant power. She is strong, she is fast. When she decides to make a move, look out. She's got to decide to make that. So it's a little hesitant power. I want her to kind of bring that out a little bit. I wish I had her talent. Taylor Theory, we call her TT, pure athlete. Pure athlete, 6'1", maybe 150, 155. Lean muscle. Her body she worships her body with her workouts, with what she eats, how she treats it, the sleep she gets. Very serious student. She is the front of the press for Ohio State, and she is really, really a natural talent and all athlete. Ava Watson, one of the freshmen that came in. All I can say about her is she's never seen a shot she doesn't like. I mean, I think I'm open. He shoots, but there's a lot of talent there, and once we harness that a little bit, I think she's gonna be great. Kennedy Cambridge, sister of Jelani Cambridge, sat out last year, just a sophomore. I call her the sixth man. At 5'11", she can play pretty much any position if she had to. Talented, again, raw talent needs to be harnessed a little bit. Elsa Lemela, she is from Finland. 6'6", did not play her last year in her home country. She had a knee issue. She is raw talent. To me, it's just potential. That's her word for me, potential. And she's a great kid. Just anyone can go up and talk to her and she will talk to you. I think we've all tried to go up to a teenager and talk to them, and sometimes that doesn't go over really well. She will actually converse with you. She's great. Madison Green, a 6th-year player. So remember, you had 4 years of eligibility. You can get a 5th if you've been injured. And you can also get a 5th year if the COVID, exactly. So Madison, she's missed a couple of years, but she had the COVID year, so she's in her 6th year. So I call her dedicated and steady. And she's gonna leave probably with 3 degrees. Great kid out of Pickerington, Ohio. So she's a local. And then the last one who's playing right now is Ebony Walker. And if you've ever come to a game, Ebony is just the fan favorite. Everybody loves Ebony. She's a great kid. Another transfer that came in. And then you have Faith Carson and Kai Henderson. They both were, they're both on the team. They played a little bit last year, not a lot. I suspect we'll not see them play at all this year, and that they're gonna transfer out. That's just Kristen's crystal ball gazing. And then you have 2 freshmen, Sani Henry and Ella Hobbs. They're out with injuries right now. So that's the team for us. We've got talent out the yin yang, and they're really fun to watch. The name and image and likeness has hit the women's game. The transfer portal has hit the women's game. Of all of these folks, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the starters for Ohio State are transfers. When I do my game sheet that I do every game before for the opposing team, it's not unusual to have 50% or more of their team transfer portal. And I think you're seeing a lot of that because of that 5th year of eligibility. I've got my degree from West Virginia. I can go get a master's in something I really want at Tennessee. So I'm gonna go play 1 more year at Tennessee, and they're gonna give me a scholarship, why not? So it's elevated the game. And it's gonna be interesting to see now when that 5th year of eligibility is gone, because now you're gonna go back to a bunch of 4-year athletes and not have some teams like Indiana the year I said bullshit on air. Every starter they had was a 5th year, which makes it kind of like a semi-pro team against a bunch of young kids. So I could talk for hours. I know you guys gotta go. I'm happy to take a couple questions, and I'll stick around if people want to talk.
On the NIL, Ohio State gets about $20 million. How much does the women's basketball team get?
The football team gets $20 million.
Only the football team gets
I think only the football team gets $20 million. The women, I know that I've seen Cody on TV for some of the local car dealerships. So I know she's getting some money. If there's other kids and you go to a restaurant, restaurants that they frequent will have contracts. So I'm gonna go to Gallows Tap Room and I wanna eat dinner, and The gallows will basically say, that's fine, here, sign the contract, make sure you post on your social networks that you had dinner here and you had a good meal. And they're like, okay, so they get to eat for free. I mean, that's common. And then you have other people that are getting money on the side, you know, for name, image, likeness. Now, remember, they're gonna be adding the ability to get paid otherwise. So name, image, and likeness has nothing to do with playing. It's your name, I'm using your name, I'm using your image, I'm using your likeness, and I'm gonna remunerate you for that. Versus athletes getting paid, and Ohio State's gonna start imposing that now, and you think about it, some kids, you know, you gotta have a phone. How do you get around campus? Clothes, and some of these athletes, not just women athletes, but all sports, they come here and the clothes they wear are things they've been wearing for 6 years, or it's their sweats that they get. So now they have some money to go do some things. They have some money to pay for their phones. If they live in an apartment, they have maybe a little extra money to go out for dinner or something, assuming they're not doing a name and image and likeness thing. But remember, if you're a gymnast, you're not getting as much as you are a women's basketball player or men's basketball player or football. I mean, those are the three sports. I would say the next one up is hockey, maybe baseball, but they're cutting scholarships there too. Those are the three sports that really benefit from it.
I was just wondering on the flights, what's it like on the flights? Do people sleep? Or do they all talk and are they active all the time? What's that like?
That's a fun question because it's all over the place. It's fun to be on the flights, the bus when the kids are really acting up. You know, they're singing or they're making fun of each other or they're laughing so hard that you hear nothing in the back. But there's a lot of sleeping, some studying, but not, I mean, it's a typical flight. The flight itself, depending on the plane we get, we sometimes get the same planes that, like the NBA players have, where it's 2 first-class seats and 2 first-class seats the whole way back. And I get my pair of first-class seats. You can cross your legs, lay down if you want. The seats go way back, you don't have to worry about bothering anyone. But even if we're on a normal 737, we'll get like our row, so everybody has their own row. Then I don't have to talk to anyone. I usually, tonight, I'll spend the first hour and a half doing my game notes, so I don't have to worry much about that. And I'll have a couple days then to absorb it. And then everybody has headphones. I brought mine and I brought my little red pillow.
Yeah, presently Ohio State's ranked 11th, and I have a bias that's way too low compared to what I think I do. I'm a little biased there, but what do you think?
I think it's about right where we should be. Honestly, we played Grand Valley State yesterday. We blew them out. I think it was 31-10 in the first quarter. Again, I didn't call the game. I was in work. But I followed it a little bit afterwards and, Grand Valley State basically played us even the rest of the day. You know, and I'm like, who's the second string player that went in and you just got beat by Grand Valley State? That's where I want, and this is Kristen competitiveness. Now you're seeing me really come out. I think the second team should be pounding them just as much as the first team.
So that's what you think might get them higher rate.
What I think is because you're not playing consistently like that, where the people that aren't the starters aren't coming in and doing what they need to do, they're not getting better. And when you really have a tough game and you need to do that, they're not having that practice ability to do that. And I think that's kind of what hurts them in the long run. But I think they're about right where they belong. we haven't played a lot. We played Illinois right now, the only ranked team. We handled them well. This Stanford game will be a real litmus test for us, I think.
I'd like to congratulate you on graduating and getting a law degree. Do you think that the transfer portal and NIL is going to decrease the number of athletes graduating from college?
That's a good question. The top programs, it could. The other programs it won't, because it's, the best deal you get is an education. I'm someone that's like NIL, I get it. But I'm really not paying you now because I like your name, image, or likeness. I'm paying you to keep you here. And that, I don't think you need that. My education at Ohio State was invaluable. It put me in the position I am in today. And it was very valuable. And then my network, because I'm an OSU alum, is expansive. So I'm not a big fan of NIL, but I get the point. I absolutely get it. I think that for second tier programs, it's not gonna matter. And it's only, let's say you have 14 scholarships, 15 scholarships, it's only gonna be like 5 that it's really gonna affect. Everybody else is gonna get their degree. If they're really smart, some of them do, they get a second degree, either 2 majors, or they get a master's in also. Like I said, Madison Green, I think is gonna have 2 or 3 degrees when she graduates, which is great. That's very valuable to me.
So now we have a raffle. Bonnie Beth is gonna conduct a raffle for us.
This is for $62 for the day. And the last 4 numbers are 6905.
6905.
All right. And now for the big one, Bonnie Beth, how much?
118.
$118.
Last 4 digits are 6922.
Oh, we are. Oh, my God.
Well.
I'll say what
Okay, choose wisely. Well drawn. 9 of clubs. Okay, now let's stand and say the 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do. First.
Is it the truth?
Second.
Fair to all concerned.
Third.
Fulfill their friendships.
Fourth. Thank you, and we are adjourned, and I'm gonna ring the bell to prove it.
That'd be great.
Like,